where the true chefs bright like a morning star. Let's chat with Phenomenal Char. She's bringing joy, she's bringing.
Hi, and welcome back to Let's Chat with Phenomenal Char, where we dive into conversations that matter. Welcome back, my friends. As the conversation was going, it was getting juicy, and then we went for a break. So let's move on. I wanted to talk about a little bit about health and wellness. Like I said, we will have a show dedicated to mental health. One of the areas I want to touch on is self care at this stage of our lives. Self care is a mental thing, and it's a physical thing, and it's also a spiritual thing. Well, for me. So I'm going to invite you guys to tell me, how do you self care? How do you take care of yourselves? We'll start with our wonderful young guest, Michelle.
Well, I think anyone here who is a parent can relate. If you've parented for a good while, like myself, my son's now 23, so it took a while for me to train myself to stop taking care of his needs and put mine more centered. So self-care for me right now, I'm just really still training myself each day to prioritize my needs, ask myself, what do I really want? Set my goals. Like that for me is my version of self-care right now. I know a lot of people for themselves, self-care might be pampering, which is really ironic because my background's actually in the beauty industry. But I do a lot of just asking myself, what do I want for this day? What do I want for this year? And then just kind of setting the goals from there. That for me is self-care right now.
All right. Thanks, Michelle. Anybody else? Jeannie, co-host. What's your version of self-care? Your idea of self-care?
For me, self-care for me is a lot mental. Everything happens in my mind before it comes to the forefront. Um, I don't concern myself with things that I can't fix or things that don't concern me. I live in the moment. I deal with an issue here and I keep it moving. I don't wake up thinking about what am I going to do, or I don't get upset about other people's issues. I listen and I don't take it on, basically.
Wonderful.
And of course, I enjoy me.
Yes, you do. Yes, you really
Yes,
do.
I do. I do.
Yes. Sandra?
Well, for me, like everybody else, mental.
Mhm.
Don't take on what I can't fix. Of course, I try to exercise, try and eat as best as possible, a
Mm.
balanced diet. Um, Dance, do what I love. Dance, listen to music, go to live shows. I tend to make it a point of duty to do what I like to do. And it's easy for me because I'm single and I have no children. So I don't have to split my time. The only time I have to split my time is with my friends or with my business. But my private time, I don't work on a Thursday. My Thursday is my me day. And so on a Thursday, I may do my hair, I may do my nails, I may get a massage, things like that. But outside of that, I really just, well, I think a part of mental wellness, first of all, is to know what it is that you want for yourself.
Mhm.
Knowing is everything. Many people don't know what they want. And so they are living other people's lives. And so I think the key thing is to know, first of all, what it is that makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Sandra. On to Kwame. Cyrus, you came in when we were talking about.
You're low.
Oh, Cyrus, you came in when we were talking about self-care and what it means to take care of yourself. Um, with the viewpoint of the physical, the spiritual, the mental, all intertwined. But I'm going to get Kwame to share his perspective on what it means to take care of
Self
self.
care. Well, I do a lot of well, nowadays I don't give a crap about what other people think of me. That's the first thing. I don't care about that anymore.
Mhm.
And in terms of caring for myself, I write a lot of writing. I also meditate and let's have a quiet time. But I don't. But I'm living my life now in terms of where I'm at. I'm enjoying my life, so I don't allow nothing to stress me out. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. I just enjoying my life right where I'm at, and I'm, what I mean, and that's my self care.
Mhm. Thank you. Paris, can you give us a quick synopsis of what your idea of self-care is?
I think we are emotional creatures, so we are going to respond emotionally to stuff. Things will happen to us. We are human beings and we experience everything. It really is about when you're going through X thing, how do you respond? And I think as we mature, we understand how to deal with that particular emotion at that time and how much time and energy to spend on it.
Mhm.
And I heard Sandra talk about what makes you happy. Happiness comes from within, it comes from us.
Yep.
What makes me happy is I love to dance and I still go out and dance. That's my happy place. So I think we kind of need to know ourselves in terms of, I just want to um, just agree with Sandra, know yourself, know what makes you happy,
Mhm.
and really go for it to have that emotional stability and, continue to build your own self-awareness
Okay.
because every 10 years we change. Some people don't realize that, but every 10 years we go through some kind of change. So I think that, and yes, surround yourself with friends and family. You have an opportunity now to choose your friends, your family, where you work, who you work with. It's not before when you're hustling and the mortgage have to pay, you're going to take a work. And I mean, I understand that some people may not be as fortunate and still maybe in some of those challenging situations. But in as much as we can control our environment, control our outcomes, control how we respond and react to each God-given emotion, because
Mhm.
they're from God. He experiences them as well. He gets angry. He's a jealous God. He gets frustrated. Just read the people out. Just go back and look at the Israelites, right?
As
He
I
was
heard,
always happy with them. So yeah, so that's my 2 cents to it.
yeah,
Sorry, I didn't
thanks.
want to
Sorry to
go on
cut
so
in, but
long.
as you are talking, what came to mind is the sentiments. I echo the sentiments of each of you about self-care. For me personally, self-care is self-love. It is something that I did not learn until after my 40. I was so busy trying to please husband, in-laws, stepchildren, people around me, and and most of all, my children. And I learned how to separate love of
Mm-hmm.
self from love of others. It doesn't mean that I love people any less, but I love myself first. God first. I always say God first, myself, and everybody else. And that was a journey for me to get to a place of loving myself. And I realized I didn't
Mm-hmm.
love myself because I was just too affected by how other
Mm-hmm.
people feel about me, see me, think about me. And I had people drag me all over the place for a time in my life. Now, for the past 20 years, this chick, it's all about me. Me first. I'm just doing me. Actually, I've been writing a book for about 10 years titled Just Doing Me. And I think I did not develop the courage to finish that book because I really wasn't just doing me. So the reality now where I'm at, it's all about me unapologetically. I don't care, watch no face. It's just about me. And I think you have to get to that place of self-love. So it's my spiritual, my physical, my mental, my psychological, my emotional, what other all we have? All the others. Right? And for me to get to this place is a lot
Yes.
of
Yeah.
hard work, sweat, tears, blood, bawling, crying,
Mm.
sleepless nights. And I am really where I'm at now, it's total self-love. And I have achieved that and it took me a minute to get there.
Well, it's part of the process,
Smooth jazzy, good time to vibe with Charlene. When real talk comes alive, she's got the
Charlene. It's what makes us up, right?
I
Uh,
know, I
And
know.
it comes back to what we're talking about in terms of that wisdom,
Yes,
the experiences, the things we go through, the thing that where we can always reflect and look back. And to Kwame's point, it was very succinct. I really don't care about
yes.
what
Like,
people
But you
about it.
know what?
at this point,
It
you
takes a lot
know.
of courage because of how we've been socialized to speak
That's
like this.
true. That
It
is
takes a
true.
lot of courage because when
Mhm.
you say no, if my children hear me say this no, they may think differently. I know they know differently, but they may think differently when
Mhm.
I say me first. Me
Mhm.
first. I did
Yeah.
all my time and I gave what I could. So now it's me first. So on to social life relationships. Now that's a big one. That is a show all in and of itself because I'm going to be doing a show about relationships, dating after the 40s, 50s, 60s, which is such a tedious, exasperating, cerebral process, if I may say so myself. Well, there is a woman in the room who has been married for 30 years. So respect my friend Jeannie. Respect to you for being able to hold it together for that long. Enough respect.
Thank you, my darling.
Enough respect. She's the
I
only
didn't
one
do
in
it
the
by
room
myself there.
married actually right now whose marriage has lasted that long. The rest of us have touched it, jump in, jump
Well,
out. You know, Michelle,
we
you've
have
been
not
married?
gotten to 30 years yet, you know, Chardin.
Yeah, yeah, I tell everybody business because I don't think my friends are not shy of saying that they're no longer married.
But this
And
is
I
my
tell,
second marriage.
uh,
This is my second marriage.
there you go.
So
But
y'all
you
have
held
an
it together.
opportunity for your second too.
Right. The thing is, what I'm saying is that, and I think my friends, I'm not shame, you know. My friends are really very
No,
open and
sir.
very
Shame.
transparent and very
Why would you
candid.
be
And
embarrassed?
Kwame, God, Kwame, where you going?
So,
God.
I mean, Sharon, the thing is, you kind of started out with a dating and then, kind of segue into relationships and, how long they last and so on. I think every relationship has a lifetime. And when that lifetime is up, it just up, whether it be 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 30.
Mhm.
And I think, though, the point you're making is that those of us who have been able to stay in a committed relationship for 30 years are a little bit more fortunate and may have stuff to share with us how they accomplish.
And I know Jean has wisdom in that. So this is why I
Yeah.
called her out for being married and holding it together for 30 years. Jean, share up, my darling, share up.
We have not made it to 30 years yet. 30 years will be December 19.
You think anything can happen between
Anything can happen. Well,
yeah, draw a card for me?
may I draw a card, man? 30 years, but you know, it wasn't always shits and giggles.
Right. Right.
There were times I've packed three, four times in my car,
Mhm.
didn't have anywhere to go. But you know, one of the things about my husband is he's a nice person. So even when he's an asshole, you remember that he's a nice
A nice
person.
person.
Yes,
You understand what I'm saying?
of
Yeah.
course.
So you say, okay, am I gonna not lay beside this man because he's human? But guess what? I'm imperfect too. So I've learned to let him be the man he is supposed to be versus the man I thought he was supposed to be, you know, and he accepts me for who I am. And the rest is history. The kids are, well, some of them come back. The kids are supposed to be gone. So, you know, we just, even though some of them are still here, we just make it about us.
Yeah. I have
I'm
someone who challenges to
62.
say that we are imperfect. He would say we are perfect and we complicate life and trying to look for the imperfection in ourselves. But that's another philosophy that I we could delve into that and that would take forever. But I want to talk
No,
about
no, I know I'm going to stop you. I'm going to say we're perfectly made, but we're imperfect beings.
well, the person would
Mm.
challenge that as well. But again, I don't want it to delve too deeply into that philosophy because it's a perspective. So the idea of relationships, finding love, ways to combat loneliness. I on my first show where I talked about fear, one of my greatest fears, as I said on that show, was being alone. And I don't know if you ever understood that it's not that I am afraid of being alone, like I live alone, I'm in my house alone a lot, I travel alone, I do a lot of things alone. But loneliness for me represents being away from the people that I love to interact with. Sandra is in Jamaica. I miss her so much. When we go to Jamaica, we do road, right, Sandra? See you
Yep.
soon. See you soon. And Kwame is also my little road party. Although I tired him out and him can't hang because it's cold. But
It's not that. It's not that because you there at the course so long, you come, you want to rave every night. You know what I mean? You don't have, you have nothing for do. You have nothing for do. You have nothing for do. So you have to come here, come squeeze the tea.
Done, Jamaica.
Yeah.
whatever,
You know what I
Kwame.
mean?
Just make sure you're ready because I'm coming
You know,
in 2 days.
me go country, you're lucky.
No, but the thing is that, so how do we create meaningful relationships? So meaningful relationships, and I'm gonna let you guys chime in. It's the friendships that we have. I have a tribe here in Canada. I call them my liming tribe. Cyrus is one of them. He belongs to the tribe, and we gather, we come together, we celebrate living, and we celebrate life because we know that we look at our mortality now. I mean, Cyrus said, who said somebody? Oh, Jean said somebody in their 50s died. So we start to look at our own mortality, and we celebrate life, and we live, and we relationships for us could just be just our circle of friends. Of course, everybody likes to have that partner, that person that you hug up at nighttime or daytime, or you hold hands with and you dance. When you go to the party, you dance, and when the slow jam come, you don't have to tell nobody. No, me no want dance. You play
No,
hot
by the
dog.
time
You
the slow
trust
jam
me.
comes around, you're sweating. And no, I don't
What was
want to
that?
dance with you. I said, by the time the slow jam comes around, you're sweaty. Mm-mm. No, we're not going to dance. Sorry. Ew.
So what I'm saying
No.
is that we now look at meaningful relationships with our friends. Jean has been my friend for over 35 years. Sandra and I met about 2018,
Yeah,
Sandra. Yeah.
2018.
And
Hmm.
we just hit it off. Michelle and I met through work and we just hit it off. So this is how we form and create friendships. And now guess what happened? We get to choose our friends. So
Right.
we don't
We
friends are not
always did.
accidental. What was that?
We always did.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. What I'm saying is that
Well,
we intentionally choose our
consciously,
friend consciously. Thank you,
consciously.
Sandra. That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
consciously.
Consciously. So everybody
Mhm.
doesn't belong in my circle. I have to vibe you. Spirit have to
Mhm.
take you, and we go on vibration and spirit now, not popularity and who is going to make you look good and who is going to make you feel good. It's about how we vibe now. So,
Mhm.
so that's important to us. Anybody wants to add to that?
Well, I have some rules. If you're toxic, it's a no-go item.
Mhm.
You
Yes,
know,
check that.
toxic out.
Mhm,
I don't entertain toxicity, none at all.
mhm.
And so, um, I have, as, as you know, I don't, what is the word I'm looking for? Happiness is my end goal all the time. And when I say happiness, that doesn't mean that I don't do funerals and I don't do hard times and I don't do with my friends. Yeah, we go through, but we don't live in that space. You know what I mean? We
Amen.
support each other, but it's not, we're going to live and dwell and, suffer for months at a time. No, we support and then we move on.
And celebrate,
So,
and celebrate.
and celebrate, absolutely, and celebrate. So my friends, and I don't use the word loosely, my friends all, for me, have a has a purpose in my life. And I'm sure I have a purpose in theirs. So pretty much that's how I do on a daily basis.
Well, I
Associates
know.
remain
Sorry.
associates. They are not
Exactly.
friends. I don't use that word generally.
Yeah.
I definitely, when I use the word friend, that's what I mean.
Smooth jazzy, good time to vibe with Charlene. When real talk comes alive, she's got the
Purposefully.
Yeah.
Purposefully, yes.
Yep. And I seem to be rushing along, guys, but you know how it is when you have a podcast and you around your friends, you could chat forever. But I want to just talk about just this last area, finding purpose and passion. As we age, we I live more purposefully now. My passion has been that of an educator for over 35 years. And each time I'm in the classroom, I tell my students, this is my passion. I love it. I don't feel like as if I'm going to work. I'm excited. They sometimes drive me nuts, but I love them just the same. And I know I'm living in my purpose. So let's talk just briefly about purpose and passion, the importance of continuing to find purpose in life. Do we find it later on, or did we discover it earlier? What what is your perspective on finding purpose and passion? And we're coming to the close, so I just want to touch each person. Just tell me a little bit about that quickly. We're going to go to Michelle first.
Okay. Just quickly, I believe we know our purpose very early on,
Mm-hmm.
probably age 2, 3, 4, very
Mm-hmm.
early, when we don't have any interruptions, I would say. And then once the interruptions come in, then we start going off path. That's what I believe. And then if we're fortunate enough, we find that purpose again when, I guess, again, all the distractions get out of our way. But that was my life. I learned really early that I want to be an entrepreneur. I would think I was 12 when I said, yeah, I want to get into this industry. And then all the doubts came because people said it was too hard and don't do it. Go get a steady job.
Yes,
You know,
all the
so
messages that
mhm.
we took on. That's interesting though, because, and I'm gonna let you all talk. I said to my students today as we had our last class, I said at 3 I wanted to be a teacher. And then after that, I wanted to be an attorney. Then I wanted to be a this and a that, and a psychologist. I actually went to school, studied psychology, started my PhD in psychology, stopped, and here I am teaching for over 35 years. So it's you're absolutely right. I said that at 3 year old. I wanted to be a teacher. All right. Anybody else want to chime in? Purpose, passion?
I didn't have none of that. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So writing for me. So but what I had learned, and funny enough, but even though I didn't know what I wanted to do, everything that I've experienced from a very young age, coming right up to being an adult, is what enriches my writing. So all the experiences that I've had, all the interactions that I've had, all the things that I've seen, all the things that I've read, have made my writing richer. So even though I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was younger, it so happened that everything that I experienced in between has now made my writing what it is today. So writing for me in that regard.
So
So I'm
writing
very
was always a part of you.
yeah,
It just got
it just yeah, but
discovered.
I didn't know
You
what
were
I didn't
not
know. I didn't
consciously
know. I
aware.
wasn't conscious of it. So
Yes,
like I said, so writing for me
yes, yes.
later on in terms of my journey. But like I said, everything prior to that has enriched my writing. You know, so sometimes somebody may have been a path and they don't have a clue to what they're going to be doing,
Yes,
but they don't realize until something like they have an epiphany or an experience
yes.
or something happens,
Something
which then
catalytic, something.
yeah happens, and then they basically realize that's what they want to do for the rest of their life. You know, which I'm fortunate enough to find my passion in that sense. Yeah,
And how wonderful that is for you.
yeah, man.
I
It's
celebrate you, my brethren, you know.
yeah, I love writing.
That's
So for me, you know,
yeah. Anybody
I
else?
wouldn't be doing anything else. I wouldn't be doing anything else.
Thanks, Kwame. Anybody else?
Mm.
Well, for me, um, I was always entrepreneurial.
Mhm.
Buying something, selling something. I was a born hustler. Born hustler. Right? So she's right.
Talk loud for the people in the back of the room.
I mean, many people are always ask, are entrepreneurs born or made? I think there is something
In it.
because how entrepreneurs operate are not necessarily like business people.
Mhm.
And we step out, we operate outside of the box
Mm.
many times, doing things where we don't even see the money.
Yeah.
but it's a passion that drives you and allows you to stick to it even when there's no money coming in. So as you go on, you develop the business side of it, the business acumen, because you have to know, when to hold and when to let go and when to push forward. So you have to get the training as you go along. But I think my passion was always there as an entrepreneur. And then other things kind of at different stages in my life, other things came in to play as the experiences, multiplied. And so, but the foundation, heart was always there. I always knew I had to work. I didn't want to work for anybody. I wanted to work for myself. I can't remember what age, but from very, very early. And I am very passionate about what I do. I'd rather be doing, like Kwame, I would rather be doing nothing else. So I think it's in you from day one.
All right, we are running out of time for this episode, and I am truly thrilled to have you all share, come together. I thank you for even coming and showing up. But I just want to leave with some practical tips for thriving, not just surviving, because that's what we're talking about. I think it's important to embrace life, plan, look at some lifelong learning. Don't be afraid to go back and learn something I am a forever student. During COVID, I went back, I learned, I am a certified health and wellness coach. Looking at our safety, or physical safety, or mental safety, or spiritual safety. Look at opportunities for growth, mentoring others. I think it's important to be a mentor. Kwame, I know, is in mentorship. Sandra, I know you're in mentorship. And we each are mentoring in our own way. I mentor my students, and I've been doing that. One of the things is to build community. Build your community. Try and growing up in Jamaica, it was a communal type of living. We're getting distracted. We're moving away from that. We're getting selfish, and it's okay to be selfish in some ways, but we also have to practice selflessness. We need each other. We cannot do without each other. I am in a place in Canada where I'm isolated. Michelle comes to visit. I'm so excited to see her. Cyrus comes over. I'm excited to see him. We gather. So we have to try and build our community, and just the love for others. That's important. That to me brings purpose and meaning to our lives. And remember, now we are thriving. We're not into the survival mode. It's not a, I hear people say, "Me just a survive." I don't use those words. I'm very careful with the words that come out of my mouth, because I know sometimes we say words that dictate our lives, will go, and flow. Um, so just recapping some points, we're looking for joy, the joy of aging, the challenges of aging, stay connected, stay on purpose. Um, and we're going to I'm encouraging our listeners, Gina and I are encouraging our listeners to tell us their stories. You can share that in the comments. Share stories of how you survive. How have you been able to survive aging? I see some people beautifully aging, and I admire them. They don't give a ish about what happens. Then I see celebrities, I see people
Yeah.
just aging, and it's not just gracefully, just aging and not making it a chronological thing.
Multiple thing.
Yes, because it's
Yeah.
too, sometimes we focus on the chronology of aging too much,
Yeah.
right?
Charlene, I wanted to quickly say
Jump in, darling.
when we're talking about the beauty of aging is that whole thing of being an elder. That word came to me, where
Yeah.
we're elders, and you're talking about Jamaica changing, and there's a difference in terms of how we honor age
Yeah.
in societies outside of North America and Europe. So North America and Europe, they are the ones who are perpetuating this youthful look and, sending the old people to home. But in terms of our culture as Black people, it's about keeping grandma and grandpa at home as long as we can. And where there's respect from everybody for the elder. As you
Smooth jazzy, good time to vibe with Charlene. When real talk comes alive, she's got
know, to a large extent. I want to also say to you entrepreneurs, you are risk takers. That's a huge difference between you and everybody else. You understand risk and you're ready to take it. And you're also, you have a lot of faith, what the Bible speaks of, faith. And that is seeing those things that you hope for before they're even manifested.
Amen.
Last tip I want to say that for me, my purpose in life is what Jesus Christ said. Love one another as you love yourself. Simple.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah. And in terms of career or passion, it moved from pilot to lawyer to diplomatic corps.
Mhm.
And when I went to undergrad school for business, marketing was my passion and still is. And of course, right
Mine
now, I
too.
operate in the equity, diversity, and inclusion space. And that's where the mentorship and the coaching and the community building comes in. And I love doing it. So I just want to leave that with the group.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, to my audience, our next exciting episode that's coming up soon is titled The Essence of Beauty More Than Skin Deep. And we're going to talk about what makes you feel beautiful. I did a survey recently. I asked over 25 men. It's not just about women and beauty, it's men, but I wanted the male perspective on what they feel beauty was, the beauty of a woman outside of the physical. And I got some amazing responses. So I'll be sharing those on our next episode. And the aim for this episode is to provoke thoughtful discussions on outer beauty, inner beauty, self confidence, what makes you feel beautiful. So, ladies, you may have to come back on this one, Sandra. You are in the beauty business of men. So, I'm going to actually have you ask some of them their perspective. And we will be back. Any final words? One word each person before I sign off.
Married.
My word would be, it is going to be all right.
Okay. That's
This
one
is
of the two
going to
words
be
and I love
okay.
it. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Kwame,
Oh God,
it doesn't
amazing.
have to be one word. You don't have to.
Oh. No, but it's always great to have forums in which they can reason and talk and to listen, and hope other people will benefit from the reasoning.
Yes. Yes. Sandra, darling.
And my word with the two words, do you?
Yes. Michelle, before I go to my co-host.
I would just say freedom. Freedom is really the word for
Yeah,
today.
that's
Freedom.
Freedom. Freedom of aging. And Jeannie,
I
be.
may not like the woman I used to be, but she made me.
Hey.
So I will leave with this final thought, and it is we are still learning as we grow.
Mhm.
And the more we know, the more we realize we don't know. We don't know. We're still, and those of us who are open to growing and aging and learning, it's a beautiful experience, isn't it? I
Yes, it
never
is.
thought I'd feel so fabulous at 60. And you're fabulous, and all of you are fabulous. And I thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on,
I'm
Michelle.
fabulous at any age, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'll probably say I was born fabulous.
You see what
Well,
I'm saying?
darling,
All the
I have been fabulous all my life, but I want
Ah,
to be
oh,
humble.
you're retracting.
Well,
Retracting.
no, I'm not retracting, but we are in this present state now, and each and every one of us is fabulous in our own way. So you guys continue to stay fabulous, and to our audience, join us again as we talk about the essence of beauty more than skin deep. See you guys soon. Thank you. Love you
All right.
all. Mwah.
Right.
Bye.
See you
Bye,
soon.
guys.
See you next on Let's Chat with Phenomenal Char and Jeannie. All right, guys.
Oh,
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye. Have a
Bye,
good
bye, bye.
one.
Charlene, when real talk comes alive, she's got the groove, she's got the style of phenomenal woman with a radiant smile. From life's deep moments to the lighter side, let's travel Charlotte, the good times ride, let's chat.